Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name is Levi McCurdy, and this episode is audio only. Let's get that out the gate right now. There's a reason you're not watching my face, okay? And be honest, it's a podcast. You don't need to see my face. It's an audio format. So enjoy this audio of the episode. Listen, it's summertime. It's the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And we're just real busy. We're real busy getting ready for some big things over here with the business and personal life and other things going on. And with the YouTube shutdown apocalypse happening amongst all comedians and comedy and satire-based podcasts, we are not taking our chances with YouTube. We are a small channel and they will shut us down immediately. They've already shut down Tim Dillon. They shut down Theo this week because of his episode with Roseanne. How insane was that? But thanks to one of the many positive things about Elon Musk's Twitter now is that, there's only a few positive things when it comes to Elon's Twitter. And one of them is that Blue Verified can upload pretty much like an hour, 2 hour limit. I think there's still a limit, but it's something absurd. So enough room to put the entire episode on Twitter, and doing so with the news surrounding YouTube taking Theo Von's episode down this week for comedy and satire surrounding his conversation with Roseanne. He put it on Twitter, and that inevitably got him tens of millions of views on the episode. So, and now his podcast is number 2 on Spotify directly under Joe. And I'm pretty sure the developers at Spotify just permanently, automatically have Joe as the top spot. No matter what the numbers are, Joe will always be number 1. So whether he's the least listened to podcast because of his deal, he'll always be at the number 1 spot. So Theo Von shot his way up the charts this week. So YouTube apocalypse happening. Not sure what's going on. If you say certain words, you're going to get kicked off. So this won't be a full-blown episode for me today. What I'm going to do is, after I'm done ranting here in the beginning, you will hear the full episode, the full segment that Paul and I recorded a few weeks back for his podcast, the High Cheese podcast. If you haven't done so already, check out the High Cheese podcast. They talk about everything from baseball. Well, that's pretty much it. It's a baseball podcast. They don't talk about anything other than baseball, but if you like sports, they dabble into that. And a few weeks back, I was on an episode. We previewed a snippet of it on the YouTube channel of, I believe, last week or the week before. But this episode is going to be that full segment because, to be honest with you, I just don't have time. I don't have time to edit. I don't have time to film. I don't have time to write. I'm busy. And you can't make $1 million in a year without being a little busy and a little too, we got to put our priorities in a row. We have to take a step back and look at our priorities. What's most important right now? Watching Joey Chestnut save the world yet again at the hot dog eating competition. Listen, it was just on, and I'm telling you, Joey's the savior we needed. Okay, Joey's the savior we needed. They were about to cancel it, and boom, Joey said, no way, I don't care about the rain. I don't care about the thunder. I don't care about, whatever the rules and regulations are. I pretty much run this bish anyways. And Joey said the show must go on, and he downed 66? I think our goal was 70. We almost got 70. He did 66 dogs. He took the belt again. I mean, it's just inevitable at this point. I think it's 6th or 7th year in a row doing it. It's insane. Joey Chestnut straight down in dogs for another year. So happy 4th of July, everybody. I'm going to stop ranting now. Honestly, listen, this episode, full-blown summer recap, folks, okay? Like I said, the rest of this podcast will be my full segment recorded with my best friend, Paulie Walnuts, over on his podcast, High Cheese. We go through some very interesting baseball slang. So he serves up or pitches, get it? He pitches me some baseball slang like ducks on a pond and the golden sombrero. So if you don't know what those terms mean, I give you the actual definition. I don't care what the baseball professionals say. I don't care what Paul and the High Cheese podcast has to say about it. My terms are the terms. And of course, we couldn't talk about baseball without talking about Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off and how Megs hates it. My fiance hates the movie, but I absolutely love it. So listen, I've got some hot dogs and burgers to grill. I've got a vacation to get ready for. I mean, buckle up, folks. Episode 98 will drop this week still, even though this one's late and postponed. We're on it. I'm on that weekly grind. I will not let a week go by where I don't put out an episode. I'm determined to get to episode 100 on this vacation. So episode 98 is coming soon. Who knows what we have planned for that, but I know for a fact, like I've been saying, episode 99, episode 100 will be on our vacation via the Dominican Republic. So if you're a fan, check it out and be on the lookout for those episodes coming within the next. We leave in like 3 days. We leave in like 128, maybe 72. We leave in like 3 to 4 days. Oh, I'm stressed. It's okay. It's fine. We're ready. We're packing up now. I have so little to do and so much time to do it. Flip it, reverse it. So much to do in so little time. Enjoy this episode. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the High Cheese podcast. You can check it out on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, for you weirdos who use iHeartRadio to listen to your podcast, Pandora. I don't know. It's weird. You can listen to podcasts everywhere except for Twitter. I think that's coming soon. So listen to the High Cheese podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to the What Are We Doing podcast. Of course, where you're listening to this. By all means, thank you guys for rocking with me for another week. Enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys next week.
All right, everybody. So Joe is on vacation this week, and so we have a special guest, a little off the beaten baseball path this week. I got Levi McCurdy from the What Are We Doing podcast. How's it going, Levi?
Good. I'm so excited for this. I know nothing about sports, especially baseball.
That's why I wanted you to do this. So, yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit. What is your like knowledge of baseball? Like, just give us a little, like, what you know, how you feel about things, your favorite team if you had to pick one. You know, roll through.
Okay. Favorite team is the I don't know names, but you can tell me because we've talked about this before. My favorite team is that one that does the dances to psych out their players. I think it's creative and it's perfect. I think every team should do it.
That is the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, that's perfect. And it's a beautiful name. It's probably one of the best names, I think, honestly, in the sport. I mean, you know, like what, Baltimore Orioles? Like, how fucking original. So, yeah, my knowledge of baseball goes as far as, I know that, like one of the players, I think, did Derek Jeter get shot by a New York cop who was trying to prove himself?
That is just the movie The Other Guys. You were describing the movie The Other Guys.
That wasn't real. That wasn't like a real based on real events.
Not a real story.
Okay. Babe Ruth is a thing, right? That's real.
That Babe Ruth is kind of the most famous white guy to ever play baseball.
Okay, so, and he's the one. He has the most home runs out of all time ever.
He did for a really long time,
and now it's just some like 6-year-old Dominican kid, right?
Nope, Barry Bonds.
Oh, well, that's the next guy. That's the only one.
That's a name you knew, too. You knew that name, too,
Sure,
I think, so, yeah.
sure.
I feel like anytime you've, like, jokingly riffed on baseball with me, you usually say Barry Bonds.
Is that my... Yeah, well, that's... Yeah.
I think that's your go-to guy.
Those are my go-to guys. And honestly, that's it, man. I know I've been to a few games. I know 3 strikes, you're out. I, for the life of me, could not tell you, gun to my head, what the whole, like how the umpire, if he's just having, I guess, a good day, whether it's a strike or a ball. I guess it's where the ball goes over the plate, but it goes over the plate the entire time, and sometimes it's a strike, sometimes it's not. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's fine. But other than that, I know there's a 7th inning stretch where we all get up and stretch and do yoga for a few moments. And then other than that, Yeah, man, that's about it. Hot dogs, beer, and baseball. Yeah, that's it. That's all I know. I don't know why.
I mean,
is a home run worth 1 point? Like, is that it in baseball?
Well, if it is a home run and no one else is on base,
correct.
Yes.
It's just so for every person they get around the bases, it's 1 point.
Yeah, and it's called a run.
I love that. So, that makes so much sense to me. This whole nonsense of like 3-pointers and 6 and 7 and foul shots or whatever in baseball, basketball, and like fucking golf, like negative score is better. Like what the fuck? Just make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. That's all we need.
I've never really thought about the fact that baseball is one of the only sports where it counts in ones. So you've given me something to think about because I've just known it my whole life. Why don't you think that that's just the case?
Like, why can't we just make that the case? Like, why can't the NFL come out tomorrow and be like, hey, guys, from now on, every touchdown is a point, every field goal is a point. And that's it. Like, why do we have to? Because then, you know what happens when I actually sit down to watch a game and, like, you know, whatever the Eagles or whatever PA team I'm rooting for or whatever's on, it doesn't matter. I don't know anything about football either. But, like, whatever team's going, like, you can't really, like, then I have to explain to Megs, like, oh, they just got 7 points. She's like, oh, did they score 7 touchdowns? And I'm like, no, just 1.
They scored a touchdown and kicked a field goal, or they kicked the extra point.
Then I have to explain it to her.
It's even sillier, the extra point,
like, It's not like, okay, so baseball's good. I like baseball already a little bit more now because that's the way it's scored. Cool. And that's it. That's pretty much all I know.
I'm glad I could convert you over. So we got hot dogs, beer, Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, and you like that it scored in ones.
Dude, I'm just
6s, 7s, 2s, and 3s.
I'm trying to stack that podcast SEO for you this episode. So as long as if the transcript has all those keywords in it, you're solid for the week.
Yeah, dude, you're crushing it for us so far.
Right.
Well, so all right. So the reason I had you on, which I told you beforehand, is I want to do the reason I had you on is because you don't have a deep knowledge of the sport.
Correct.
Because this is a bit I wanted to do actually back in season 1 of High Cheese back in 2018, and nobody was willing to do it because I didn't know you yet, which is really unfortunate because you would have been good on it back then too. I want to go and I want to throw you because baseball's been around for a long time. Baseball goes back to the 1800s. And there's stuff that gets said, and Brittany loves listening to this too, because Brittany has pretty extensive baseball knowledge nowadays, because she watches a lot of games with me.
Right.
We've been to games. She like knows players even. Like she can talk shop.
Yeah.
But still, every once in a while, we're watching a game late at night, and an announcer says something. She's like, "What did they just say?" Because baseball has all these weird, antiquated things that people say, and I don't think twice about them because I've been following baseball since I was like born. I grew up following baseball. My dad, literally, for every one of my siblings, we all have a jersey of the team the Phillies were playing the day we were born.
Okay.
Nuts.
Okay.
Like I had no choice but to love the sport. It was like in my blood.
It's a bit much. It's a little much. And I will say, I'll say I thought of one more thing. Honestly, sorry to cut you off. I have one more thing about baseball. Everything and the entirety that's covered now, the validity of the facts and the game actually played within it. I don't know. You'll have to tell me because you're the expert, but I'm very well versed in the Disney Channel original movie, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. So if that is an accurate representation of baseball, then that's another percentage of knowledge you can add to my report card.
Well, I don't actually. Here's one for you. I've never seen that one. Actually, I've seen a lot of baseball movies. I've never seen that one. So is that on Disney Plus? Can I watch it?
Yes, 100%. And right. I feel like we need to watch it together. Maybe.
Well, there's a chance I want to have you back on to do a movie review about baseball movies, and you're gonna have to watch a couple. It's gonna be only silly ones.
Let's just do Eddie's $1 Million. Let's do Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
I mean, we could do Eddie's $1 Million. Also, the audio clip in the intro song for High Cheese is an old. I don't know if it's a Disney movie or not, but it's from the movie. Have you ever seen the movie Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I think so. As a kid, probably not recently.
Kid the kid like breaks his arm, and when he gets out of a cast, he can throw like super fast, and the Chicago Cubs sign him.
Right,
and he comes and plays for the Cubs.
Right.
And that's where the high cheese tag comes from. Actually, it's a 20th Century Fox movie, so that might be on Disney Plus too. Anyhow, so all right, I'll have to get back to you on the Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off because I don't know that one. It's probably probably after my Disney time.
We should do once you're done your half a year sober October for your health problems. We should drink a little and do a drunk review of Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off for the High Cheese podcast.
That seems like a very good episode idea.
We can.
So, all right, we'll come back to that.
Dude, we could do it this way. Like we can do it this way too. We'll pull it up. We'll make sure I'll make sure everyone has a local file, so we don't need to rely on streaming. And then we can just like do the same thing we did. We'll sync up. We'll hit play at the same time, and boom, bam. We're off to the races.
And we'll watch Eddie. All right, we'll circle back to that for sure. I'm into that.
Hell yeah.
So actually, watching some kids movies might give you a little leg up on the. So we're doing, just for everyone listening, Levi, you know what we're doing. Yeah. We're doing wrong answers only, baseball slang edition. So how this is gonna work is I have picked a few that I think seem to, again, all of these phrases to me seem intuitive because I've listened to them for a million years.
Right.
But if you don't watch baseball, it's kind of fun to guess at what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the namesake of the podcast. What does high cheese mean, Levi?
Okay. Yeah. So high cheese, right? That term comes from, that was like one of, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, I think in my research, that was one of the first of like quote unquote slang terms coined in professional baseball. And so back in the day, before like they had the grand idea to put up like the huge nets behind the pitcher's plate and the foul balls or whatever, they had these like metal chain link fence like roofs. Like they had like a ceiling over like the stadium where the people would sit, because this is back in the day. They didn't have technology or any of that shit now. So when they looked up, when someone hit a flyer or a pop ball, someone would yell high cheese, because as they were looking up, they had to look through the graded fence. Like that was the ceiling of like the stadium that they were in. So their vision was just like all, the holes like through a fence. And so it looks like you're just looking up into the sky as a piece of cheese. So when the ball's a popper or a flyer and you want to catch it, try to come through the holes, and the fence are big enough for the balls. And so they would just yell out high cheese when it was like a foul ball or a popper for you to catch back in the day. Obviously with modern stadiums and roofing and the nets and everything, it's not a thing anymore. But yeah.
That more or less, I mean, honestly, I wish that we had stuff we yelled at stadiums. It's not that, though. The idea of it looks like Swiss cheese that you're looking up at. High cheese is, there's that two phrases. High cheddar is also like it's AKA.
Okay.
And all it is just a high and inside fastball that a pitcher throws. So what that means is when someone's batting and the ball like almost hits them and it's a fastball, that's high cheese. You threw high cheese.
Okay.
So again, I love beautiful first wrong answers only. I'm very happy with where you started. Let's stick with food for a sec.
Okay.
I'll give you another one. We're gonna go with meatball. What's meatball in baseball?
Ooh, okay. So, all right. So this meatball, this is actually funny. Not a lot of people know this. If I was podcasting when this happened, I probably would have talked about it. A lot of people thought that like Tom Brady and the Patriots in that one time in the Super Bowl with him like deflating the ball and like making it easier to catch and all that stuff. But a lot of people thought that was the first time in history that people like professional sports were messing with the balls. But I believe in 1997, the Astros pitcher was caught. He in fact stuffed the ball with raw hamburger meat to make it heavier, therefore resulting in more strikes during the game. And once accidentally his catcher let it slip, and the umpire picked it up, and obviously noticing how heavy it was, they investigated, they cut it open. It smelled terrible, they said. But obviously back then, like, you don't have anything, like what else is he gonna stuff it with? So yeah. It was like the first Inflategate kind of ball messing with
beautiful
scandal
of
so
baseball. You also said Astros, which is appropriate because I don't know if you know this, and maybe you just do because you're always on the news for your podcast. The Astros are notorious cheaters, so good call there. Good riff.
No, that was just the first name that came to mind.
They had a lot of cheating scandals the last few years. First, they got caught stealing signs for pitches from other teams and banging on a trash can to let people know what pitch was coming. And then they also were part of a bunch of pitchers all over baseball got in trouble for you're really close with this one. Not for that phrase, but doctoring a baseball is something that has like been a hot topic throughout time. There's like spitballs where guys would like rub spit on the ball to make it spin more. There's a couple years ago, there was a thing called spider tack, which was just called sticky stuff by like common people. Yeah. And sticky stuff makes the ball spin. You can get a better spin rate. You also grip the ball better because it like gives you better than your fingers.
Right.
And so they still check actually sometimes in between innings when pitchers come off the field. The umpire makes them take their glove off and touches their hands to see if they have any sticky stuff. So you're like right in the ballpark with that. But a meatball is way simpler than stuffing a ball to make it heavy.
Okay.
It's just an easy pitch to hit that's right down the middle of the plate.
Oh, okay, cool.
See, like yours are more fun. This is why I wanted you to do this because you have a beautiful mind of just instantly riffing on stuff and coming up with. But you like dialed in some stuff there. You know, you're like you're close. So yeah, the Astros and sticky stuff. I feel like I'm stuffing. I kind of now want to know like we should do like a Mythbusters where we stuff a baseball with ground beef and see if it does anything to the behavior.
Okay. That's good. So I like that.
That's another idea for a YouTube channel idea.
Okay.
All right. Apparently I'm just picking food ones, which I didn't realize. But what's a can of corn?
A can of corn. Hold on. I know this one. A can of corn. Oh man. Is it? It can't be a simple. I'm pretty sure they found out if they put the metal, are they allowed to use the metal bat? What they do is if they're using the metal bats, they put the can of corn, it's the exact size. So they put it on the outside of the bat. And what they've found is it statistically hits the ball 10% further. So it's another cheating method. Yeah, but the problem is once it's a one and done because the can of corn is 99 cents. So the ball, once you hit it, it's dented. And it's very obvious when you do it too. So it doesn't happen quite often, but every once in a while, like a rookie player who hasn't really been around the block will think, I'll just, put a can of corn around the bat and then boop, knock it out of the park.
No, that's not that. That is quite creative. And also I kind of want to try that because, I used to, as a kid, hit like golf balls and do weird stuff, like hit crab apples with a baseball bat and see how far they'd go. So I've never put a can of corn around a baseball bat though. So now I feel like I need to try that too. A can of corn is just a very easy to catch fly ball. Okay. It's just a ball that's like, I caught it. It was a can of corn. Which, again, these are all things that are said in baseball. Like an announcer will be like, it's a count of corn to Harper in right field. And then just like people know what that means when they're watching the baseball game, but no normal people do.
What I'm discovering here is that we should probably redefine a lot of these things because it seems like your definitions don't really make any goddamn sense. And so
they're all, that's why it's fun about it.
My definitions, I feel like, make a lot of sense.
I mean, hey, it's
if you went to, just think about it for one moment. If you went to a group study of baseball enthusiasts and you said, okay, guys, we need to come up with a term that we're going to use for when someone just, it's a real easy popper. It's a fly ball. You can catch it on any Sunday with your kid in the backyard. What do you think we're going to call that?
I don't think you land
where
on can
on
of
the
corn.
List do you think can of corn falls? I feel like the branding.
We're going to do a little market test for all this.
We need to rebrand. How do we get the rebrand NFL project? Is the question.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good point.
It's just a 2023.
Joe
we
and
release it. Yeah.
Joe and I last week had a pretty long rant about how baseball in general is like a mess. We talked about how they canceled all the Pride nights, which I know you talked about just Pride in general on your podcast. But also, like, Major League Baseball has a really big like marketing problem. Like, they're horrible at getting people into the game. And, you know, as we're going through this, I didn't intend to talk about the serious nature of this, but these are really inaccessible to people that just started watching. You have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
You have no clue what any of these words are.
Right.
So, you know, that's we're gonna Pixel and Hammer, our agency, we're gonna call. We're gonna, hey, Major League Baseball, can we rebrand all the terms?
Yeah.
We're gonna rebrand baseball.
It must be done for 2024. We're gonna make
baseball
2024. We're gonna make baseball great again.
Oh no! All right, so we're on that one.
Hey.
All right, let's move away from food. We're gonna get away from food ones. I'm gonna give you. We're gonna do a few more here.
Okay.
What's the golden sombrero?
Oh. God, this one. Oh my God! I didn't think you were gonna pull this one because I think what records are. I think only one or two. Is it two people that have done this? This is simply just when they find out it's when the player injects steroids directly into his penis. So it's their way of hiding. Obviously, like the needle marks on their arms are no good, and obviously they check their toes, and so like no one in their right mind's gonna do that. But you know, once in a while they figure it out, and then it's that golden sombrero. You know what I mean? Right in the pisser. Right in the pisser.
I think your etymology of slang of like a golden shower to a golden. I think you're right there. That's pretty solid. No, what it is just I guess this comes from the idea of a hat trick is 3. Okay. A golden sombrero is when a player strikes out 4 times in a game.
Oh, okay.
That's just a golden sombrero. So it's somebody. I mean, like injecting steroids directly into your tip of your penis. Striking out 4 times in a game is a painful event because it means you're having an awful day at the plate. But yours is way better. That's way more creative. God.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm glad we're doing this.
Good.
Glad we're doing this. Here's one that I found while researching these because I was like, I know a bunch of them in my head, but I wanted to have a list.
Okay.
I'd never heard this one, and now I feel like because this has happened to me before, where I like learn something and then I hear it like the next day when I'm listening to a game. What's a punch and Judy hitter?
A punch and Judy hitter. Well, I think is that all? As in, is that all one term, or
it's
is
the
that
word
two
punch,
separate?
like a punch, like a fist.
Okay.
And Judy, like the name Judy.
Yeah.
Hitter. It's a phrase. A punch and Judy hitter.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is just a term that they would use anytime they sent Babe Ruth up to bat. His first wife's name was Judy, and she filed for divorce quickly after he slammed her as harder as he does the baseball bats. So as soon as he comes up to play, it's like, oh, well, he's gonna hit the ball as hard as he hit his ex-wife, you know, kind of thing. So they would just say that every time a guy they knew who was like a freaking heavyweight when it came to hitting the ball out of the park came up to bat. Oh, so a home run incoming, yeah.
What's awesome is it's actually apparently exactly the opposite. It's a guy who has no power at the plate, which is hilarious.
That's funny. That's great.
Because it doesn't. I guess that's what I get. It feels like I gotta look that one up. Hold on, I'm gonna look that one up real quick because I gotta know where that came from because I've literally never heard that phrase.
Okay.
Let's see. A baseball sports term. Let's see. Where did it come from? Mr. Punch and Judy. It's a marionette show, apparently. God, okay. It's a traditional British thing.
Okay.
Why is this? What?
Dude, the British have all the good shit.
Apparently, so one of the best hitters of our childhood, well, my childhood, you didn't know about him probably, was a guy named Tony Gwynn who played for the Padres, and he was consistently proud of being called a punch and Judy hitter because he is a great hitter, but he wasn't known for being a home run hitter. So that's how it got really popular in the 80s and 90s. And I've literally never heard this phrase ever. So
yeah, no. I met him at a wedding like 6 years ago. He came up to us. He said his name. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a baseball player. I'm like that. I was like the worst hitter in the history."
I gotta know now when he died. If it was, he died in. Probably. Oh, you could have been. You were close. He died in 2014. You were close.
Yeah.
Close.
Okay. Well, it was probably like a 2013 wet. We started doing wet. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, as he came up to us, I didn't know who he was. I was like, I don't know anything about baseball, buddy. And then I played. He requested Mambo Number 5 by Lou Bega, and of course I played it. Like, who wouldn't? Like, I've been waiting for someone to request that for years. So that was
he
fun.
Also had
fun fact.
I got to show you his voice after this because he had like kind of a notoriously like high voice, which you also get criticized by on your YouTube channel a lot.
Yeah, I need all the comments. By the way.
Picturing Tony Gwynn coming up to you in his like high pitched voice, and be like, "Can you play Mambo Number 5?"
Dude, I love it. I totally would because of his voice. Yeah, I totally would. Yeah. I can't wait for your comments and for your fans to really appreciate you as two male hosts having a female on as a guest spot this week. So you're gonna hit all of the inclusive. You're probably gonna get a few female fans just from this voice.
I think we have like 3 already as listeners. So
we're doubling that right now. Yeah, we're doubling that. Right here now. We go. You got 6.
Yeah. So here we go. All right. So we got two more for you, and then we can riff on one other thing before we finish up our guest spot here. Yeah. This one's one for you, buddy. What's a bang bang play?
Oh, a bang bang play. Well, they made this illegal because there was nothing in the rule book when they first did it. So it's unfortunately illegal now, so we don't see it anymore. But a bang bang play is when they used to send up their best player to like they go up, they boop, they get a strike, maybe like on purpose, a ball on purpose, whatever. And then boom, home run. And then right immediately after that, the coach puts him back in to hit it again, and then boop, another home run. So bang, bang, 2 home runs in a row, same player. And then they had to obviously change the rules. You can't do that. So bang, bang, 2 home runs in a row. Much like I had at one point in time, because they're a relatively like new, I guess, within the last century, millennia, whatever. Takis, like the whatever the Cheeto knockoff, whatever at the store they have now, they're like blue or whatever. I don't know. I convinced Megs, my fiance, that Taki was Spanish for 2 tacos. So bang bang is when the same player
can we
gets
make 2 tacos a baseball phrase? I think we should make that a phrase.
2 tacos, Taki. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm into that. So a bang bang play is actually when a base runner who is running, they hit the bag a split second before the ball arrives. So they're safe, but it was really close. So it's a bang bang play.
And then we have to see like the dust settle, and then like the mid is
maybe
like
they do the replay,
off,
they check it out. Oh, did he actually make it? Who knows? We'll find out it's a bang bang play.
Okay. Cool.
The idea of back-to-back home runs being a bang bang, though, I kind of like that. But if you say it too many times in a row, it starts to mean nothing anymore, and it sounds like nonsense to me.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So last one. This is our last one of these because we could do like a long. There's so many of these, but the last one I wanted to see if you riff on. What's around the horn mean?
Around the horn. Oh, that's easy. That's just if the player on first base wants to steal to second when the next guy goes up to bat.
He goes around the horn.
Yep.
I mean, it's not dissimilar from what it actually is. It's a double play. So a double play is when you get 2 outs on one fielded play. And it would be when the third baseman fields it, they throw it to second, they get the guy that's running to second from first base, and they throw it to first. So it goes around the whole field. So it's around the horn. That's what that is.
There
so you did, dude. You weirdly, with any of your made up riffs, were pretty close to a lot of these.
Right.
You did pretty good.
A little smarter than I thought I was.
Yeah, or you just like and some of them were like completely nonsensical. Like the can of corn. Like how the hell is that the word for that?
No,
I thought that since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was like, why is that the word?
I feel like as we were talking and discussing, I discovered one more hot take opinion of mine, and I feel like that in 2024, obviously it's too late now, and if this is already a thing, great. I think steroids should just be a thing. If they want to take steroids, I think you should let them and see what happens.
Dude, unironically, this is a take that I bring up like every other episode because baseball was more fun when everyone was doing steroids.
Right.
It was better. And a better product.
Like, if I mean, it's, yeah. I think if you don't, then don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. You don't have to. That's my take. Right. You don't have to do steroids, but if you're like, hey, the health risks, your nuts might get small, you might have a heart attack at age 45. If as long as all the health risks are brought up and like there's education.
Right.
But one, people get hurt less, which is good because then your best players are playing. And 100%. Two, there's more home runs, and that's fun. Everybody loves the home run. Right. It's the best. There's the phrase "chicks dig the long ball" for a reason. That's another phrase that goes around. And it means that girls like guys who hit home runs. And
that phrase is just, everyone knows, is the one that your wife came up with because of your massive dick. So I think they need to do steroids. I think, listen, and if they want to do, if they want to if the hitter for the Astros wants to do a line of Coke before he goes up, then so be it, let him go. That's
80s baseball culture, buddy.
I think we need to bring that back. Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring that back. Let's get all the hitters back. I want the cocaine dust to like hit off the bat as soon as the ball makes contact kind of thing. So yeah, that sounds great. I don't think
so you're in favor of roids and coke.
Why not? Might as well. It make it more entertaining. The ESPN or whoever, MLB can probably capitalize on it somehow. Just have their own little brand of baggies or something. I don't know, and then just, some teams will be known for, that they're like, they're all over there hopped up on cut. And some teams will be known for, smoking joints in the dugout. And some teams will be known because they're the roids team. Some teams will have a mix of both. Some teams will be strategic with both. Some teams will be strategic by having all the same drugs. It's fine. I think if we just add an enhancer, I think it would probably help most sports. Dude, why not?
You're preaching to the choir. This is my take. We need everybody to be roided out. We need, it's more fun, better product.
Yeah, it's way more
fun. I have one more thing I just got to ask you. Because you just did an episode on this, and I may or may not have told you this already when we were discussing the nonsense of America canceling all the Pride nights across the world. But okay, so there's a bunch of teams in baseball. I want you to look up a list real quick. Okay. And I want you to guess which one doesn't have a Pride night, and then we're gonna close our episode out.
Okay.
Just based off, you can base it off however you want to do the criteria. I feel like it's a little tie-in between our two podcasts' recent content. So
yeah, what's the list?
Here, I'll give you MLB teams. I'm just gonna give you a list.
Oh, I see.
30 teams, 30 locations. Here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
And so all of these except for one.
Only one team doesn't have a Pride night. I want you to see if you can just guess without knowing.
One team did not have a Pride night. So I'm looking at everything from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Not that they just didn't have one this year. They just have never had one.
To the Washington Nationals.
Yes, that's the whole list.
Oh, wait. Now that I'm looking at the list, I feel like you told me this before.
I feel like we did talk about it when you were talking about your episode you were doing last week.
Was it, if I get it right, do I win $1 million?
I mean, if I had $1 million, I'd come up with a prize for that for you, but...
Okay, cool. All right, if I get it right,
it's just getting you right. It's just like your intuition, your vibe check, like you're looking at all the logos, you're looking at the teams, honestly, where they're from.
It's a Will Smith, Margot Robbie, Focus 55 woo situation. I'm leaning right towards the Texas Rangers.
You are right. You got it. You just based it on it being Texas. You based it on it being Texas.
Listen.
It's kind of
Listen, we've talked about it. It's like, look, Texas, I get it, but like, hey man, some of you Cowboys got to kind of wake up. Like, we're in 2024 now, and it's like the people running your state are like a part of the LGBTQ community. So what's up with that?
It's wild. It's wild. But all right, well, dude, let's call it a wrap for now. I have like so many other things I want to talk about, but it's like so off of the baseball beaten path. I got to keep it tight, you know. But yeah, for those who are first hearing Levi, you can check him out. Levi, do your plugs real quick. Where can people find you? Give all your tags, your plugs.
Yeah, I'll just do let's just do wadpod.com/links, wadpod.com/links, LINKS. I don't spell it for you, I spell it for me because I'm just autistic. It's fine. No, wadpod.com/links. You can check out the What Are We Doing podcast anywhere there. And me, you can find my socials if you need to anywhere you want. Just Google me.
I'll link to some stuff in the show description too, so
whatever Paul puts in the description. Check it out. Check out the What Are We Doing podcast. I'm launching an episode like right after this about the Titanic submarine and a few other topics. So it's fun times over there.
Man, I missed an opportunity, and I'm just gonna close it out here real quick.
Yeah.
So there's a baseball term, slang. Well, it's not slang. It's like a description of a type of pitcher called a submarine pitcher. And I totally missed a bit. How did I miss this joke?
Oh,
Dang it. It was right here. It was right here for me. I could ask you what a submarine pitcher was in baseball.
Submarine pitchers.
So
the
a billionaire who goes to the bottom of the ocean?
A baseball fan who, an owner, one of the billionaire, I think his son, the one with the son who's also there with him. The son, for like his 16th birthday or whatever, his dad bought him a baseball team. So,
So he's a submariner,
pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't even really describe what a submarine pitcher is because it's like where they throw. They like throw almost underhand, but sideways arm instead of overhand like normal pitchers.
Oh, okay.
So it's a weird style. I can't believe I missed that joke. So at least we got it in. We got it in before we stopped recording. So submarine pitcher.
You gotta get all the
ridiculous events.
Hot
of this
topics.
Week.
Yeah, hot topics.
We got it. So, all right. Well, thank you, Levi. Thanks for guesting. We'll have you on again, I'm sure. Maybe you can come on with Joe, too, and we can watch that baseball movie together that I've already forgotten the name of. Eddie's $1 Million Cookout?
Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
All right, I got it.
Do you not know the premise of this movie?
I don't. Finish out with explaining it.
The premise of the movie, you're going to love it. Megs hates it. Our son was obsessed with it in his movie spree a year back, so every day we would have to turn it on, and Megs would be on the brink of killing herself. But it's fine because I love it because of how ridiculous. It's basically just the same story. It's the dad who's the baseball coach and his two older sons play baseball. Now his youngest son's in high school and playing baseball. But he finds out that his real passion is baking and pastries, much like myself. And so he goes to school for that instead and tries to balance the baseball life with his cooking career, and his friends are pressuring him are you going to play baseball or are you going to make a cake?
So it's basically High School Musical, but instead of acting and basketball, it's cooking or baking and baseball.
Yes, and they don't sing it's exactly High School Musical, but baking and baseball. And for every song that High School Musical has, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off has a food fight. There's awesome. 16. There's 16 in the movie.
That's
and then
really
of course,
bizarre.
At the end of the movie, there's $1 Million Scholarship Cook-Off where, of course, mega star, pro chef, famous Food Network, Bobby Flay shows up, and and then Eddie has to choose whether he's going to compete because, of course, his baseball team for the first year ever has made it into the playoffs against the Eagles, and there's going to be talent scouts there for college, and so he has to decide whether he plays baseball with his friends or if he goes to the cook-off with Bobby Flay. And I'll let you, once we watch the movie, you can know what happens and who wins the baseball game, who wins the cook-off, does he make it, what does he choose, who knows, I don't know. You have to watch to find out. And that will be on the next episode of High Cheese Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to another episode. I am now your new co-host. You can check out the High Cheese Podcast on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Actually, no, it's not on YouTube, and that's a problem.
Not on YouTube.
And we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Sorry, go ahead. Close out your show.
Yes. Bro. Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for coming on. As I said, thanks for being a wonderful guest and playing along with nonsense baseball terms. And yes, we're gonna. I really now I need to know about the ending of Eddie's $1 Million cook-off. I need to know. So we'll get there.
Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to create a rule list of reasons to either like take a sip of a drink or like a shot completely or whatever, and then we'll get the boys together. We'll all get on the Discord call. We'll all make sure we have a bottle in hand, and we'll
play along. Yeah.
We'll record everything,
and I'll come up with I'll give you some other segments to. I have some other ideas of baseball things I would just like you to respond to. So we'll make it happen.
Great.
I like it.
Great.
I like it.
Great.
But all right, well, thanks everyone. This episode will be out Friday morning, so this is there's gonna be more on this segment here. But thanks for listening, and we'll catch you all next week. See ya.
Bye.